You guys just want to argue with each other. And quite frankly, I don't have the time today to hear all this.
A long running dispute between a tenant and a landlord has finally reached a breaking point, and it's about to escalate. The tenant's position is, frankly, extremely weak. She shows up an hour and a half late to her own hearing, treating the courtroom as if punctuality were optional. Meanwhile, the landlord sits there visibly frustrated, alleging a pattern of dishonesty and manipulation from the very beginning. The tension is obvious before a single word is even spoken. Judge Simpson walks straight into a storm of accusations, emotional claims, and arguments that barely hold together. I've seen chaotic landlord-tenant disputes before, but this one genuinely stands out. What do you think? Who's really in the wrong here? Let me know as we go. But for now, let's get into it.
It's Lori Anderson versus Armani Lyman. State your name, please.
Lori Anderson.
I went back and reviewed the record, and what is clear in this case is I specifically indicated to both parties that they needed to be here in person. And she is not here, and the like. Did receive an answer. What is your claim? This is for termination of tenancy.
And a judgment, sir. You want me to read my
How much are you claiming is owed?
$1,139.94 as of today.
Hang on, 4,000.
$139.94.
All right, and that is for
That is for nervous July rent, which
the
is
amount of how much?
$330 plus late fees, which are $25 a day. So I calculated
Can't do that.
no late fees.
All right. I can't let you assess late fees at $25 a day. Okay. First of all, I think under case law, it would be an illegal late fee. Late fees have to be reasonably calculated to the cost of collection. That's not an exact science, but they certainly cannot be what would be called liquidated damages, which those would be. Okay. So, what months does she owe for?
July. I got a calculation. July. That would be 3,300 for July.
3,300.
Yes, sir. And,
That's the rent.
yes, sir.
Okay.
And then I got the water bill, the water charges.
And how much was that?
Oh, let me see. I had it all prepared, and I'm just.
How my day always runs.
What'd you say, sir?
I said that's pretty much how my day always.
I mean,
I have it prepared and then.
I had it all in order. Now, find it. Oh God, hold on. Okay, thank you. Okay.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. Here's a order. Okay, court cost of $33.59. That's to get her served. Lawn care service of $35. She didn't pay. I had to pay for the lawn care service. Water bill for May of $207.29.
207.29.
Water bill for June of $230.32. And then extrapolated water bill for July 1st through July 11th today of $84.45.
Okay.
Then two cashier's checks that I had to get done because she, I don't know if you'll approve that, but that's $20.
Okay.
Background checks of $54.29 for her uncle, Augustus Lyman,
Why'd you have to do?
because he's occupying my house and he's a criminal.
Okay, I can't let you have that. All right, go on.
And then, well, late fees, you said I couldn't have late fees.
Wow. How much are your total late fees that you're charging?
I calculated based on today of 175, so whatever the court will allow.
175 for July.
Well, to the I calculated to July, to today's date.
Today's date.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'll allow you $50. Well, your monthly rent is $3,300.
Yes, sir.
I'll allow you $100 in late fees.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
So what you need to do, and I will approve that judgment. Why don't you raise your right hand for a moment? Do you solemnly swear or affirm all the testimony that you have given and will give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right. And was there a lease on the premises?
Yes, sir.
Okay. But you're terminating the lease based on,
Okay. Can I read my little
well,
spiel?
hold on, no. Okay, I just look at it. You're terminating it based upon the misrepresentations and also violations and fraud that you've stated to the court previously, in this case, as well as a misrepresentation you believe as to identity,
Yes, sir.
and the person's in home, and then there is rent that is due. So based upon that and the defendant's failure to appear in this case, court is going to grant a judgment for possession to the plaintiff with a, that's her? Okay. All right. She's here. All right. Come on up, ma'am.
At this point, the tenant still owes $4,000, and the only person present to explain anything is a landlord, who looks completely overwhelmed. She's flipping through documents like she's only just realized a hearing is already in progress. In a case involving thousands of dollars, you'd expect preparation, not this level of disorganization. And the tenant? Still nowhere to be seen. Despite Judge Simpson clearly requiring both parties to appear in person, she's essentially ignoring the court, as if rules and consequences don't apply to her. Hopefully, she's at least looking for work, because if that $4,000 turns into a judgment, she'll be responsible for every dollar. That said, the landlord isn't entirely flawless either. Charging a $25 per day late fee is excessive, and in many places, it could easily be considered unreasonable. It's almost impressive how this case makes both sides look unsteady, while Judge Simpson stays composed, trying to piece everything together.
What is your name? All right. Ms. Lyman, it is unacceptable to be effectively an hour and a half late to court.
I submitted something for Zoom because I can't be late for work class. So I just came straight from school.
And I got off the bench and I specifically looked because I specifically indicated to both parties that you needed to appear in person.
I didn't receive an email of a denial of Zoom either.
When you guys were here on the record, I specifically stated that both parties needed to appear in person.
Okay.
So whether or not you filed a Zoom request or did anything along those lines, it wouldn't have mattered because I told you to be here in person. And Miss Anderson, I'll have to stop the inquiry that I'm making now that she's here. What's your position on this case, Miss Lynn?
She asked me to sign a 3-year lease after I already signed a 2-year lease, and then this is when everything kind of went downhill.
Do you want to stay there?
No, not really. I already told her if she gives me my $6,000 for my certificate, I've been stated that I will leave.
Is that the security deposit?
There's a cleaning fee and security deposit, but she never said that she would leave, sir.
So how much is the security deposit?
It's in the lease. And this is the first time I've seen her since she signed the lease on May 5th.
I don't care.
Okay. Oh. 5250.
And there's a cleaning fee, which is a non-refundable cleaning fee, I'm presuming, of how
Yes, sir.
much?
I have on video that she said that I could get my cleaning fee back.
What's the lease then?
Well, it's non-refundable, but I said if she leaves it really, really clean and, just like I had it, that I would be willing to, refund her that based on,
I
being
understand.
clean.
Okay.
Because
But the lease itself says it's a non-refundable.
yeah, because I think by law it has to say that, so that's why it says
Oh,
that.
it doesn't have to.
Well, I don't know. I'm not.
A lawyer.
I'm not a lawyer.
All right. So otherwise, well, two things. First of all, with reference to the I understand the oral representations that were made regarding the cleaning fee, but the lease would indicate that it's a non-refundable cleaning fee.
Yes, sir.
So,
Because I thought that's what I was.
and then with reference to the security deposit, that security deposit is used for, can be used to pay rent, can be used for utilities and other things that may be outstanding. My understanding is that there are a number of water bills that still need to be paid. There is July rent that still needs to be paid. So, and I would have no way of assessing whether or not there were damages to the premises. So I don't know that that's a negotiation. But you say that you don't want to be there.
Well, yeah, because she has neighbors watching me, and it's very uncomfortable coming home, and there's people watching me.
All right, Ms. Lyman, let me ask you this. What do you want me to do on this case?
Really, I just want everything to be over. It's just the random people watching me, the false police reports.
So what do you want to do?
Say, I can move out in August.
When?
At least the 1st or the 6th.
Okay. And what about July rent?
I was gonna put the rent in as well.
With the court? And that's $3,300?
Now let's talk about the moment the tenant finally shows up 2 hours late, like she's walking into a casual outing instead of a legal proceeding. She immediately starts arguing about a 3-year lease, even though she only signed a 2-year agreement. Then she claims he doesn't want to live there anymore, while also demanding her security deposit back, despite still owing rent and utilities. That's like asking for a refund after using half the product. When Judge Simpson asks about the deposit amount, the landlord instantly panics, shuffling through paperwork as if this is far more complicated than it should be. This is exactly why leases are written down, not left to memory or assumptions. Situations like this happen more often than people think. The law doesn't run on feelings, it runs on documented agreements. And those unpaid water bills, they are not small details. In some places, they can even lead to a lien on the property, something landlords are quick to point out when it benefits them. Honestly, if people read contracts as carefully as they read comments online, a lot of these disputes wouldn't exist. But realistically, how can you trust someone to pay rent on time if they can't even show up to court on time?
There is, as I was totaling and going through this, there's approximately, I have about $500, give or take, for the water bills.
I just want water bills are supposed to come every 3 months.
I sent
I received one almost like every, and from the first water bill, I was only there for 27 days.
Can I make a comment, sir?
Sure.
I sent an Excel spreadsheet to the court and to the defendant that shows the water bill history for the last 3 quarters. I mean, 4 consecutive quarters, and it calculates a water bill based on my usage versus Mrs. Armani and her family's usage. And there's a significant difference. And I presented that to the court as well. That showed that she's using 3 times the amount of water with her family than I ever used. So, well, the police report indicated that there was a.
Just because it's people over there don't mean people.
There's really no reason for me to be here with you two, is there? Because you're just going to talk over each other. And when you talk over each other, I'll be honest with you, I'm not even listening.
Can I make a statement, sir?
You have. Go ahead. What is the statement?
This is the first time I've seen her since May 5th because an older woman who says she's Armani, she's at least 40, has been telling me she's Armani, but I think it's her mother, Joanna Lyman, and I've never been able to speak with her or see her. So I can't even talk to my tenant. I would have liked to have tried to work something out, but I'm not able to ever talk to her.
Yes.
That's a lie. She's seen me on multiple occasions. She doesn't even know anybody else. She's never met my mother. She's only met with me every single time. The witness statement about mail, I've never met that man. The mail has always been inside the mailbox. I've never met any of the neighbors because I don't even go confront people. I just go on by my day. So of course, none of them ever seen me, but her.
And the fraud about the address that she said she lived at. In fact, she was living at a place on Maplewood that she was actually being evicted from. And she told me she was living at Mr. Diop's house that's on her driver's license that he's lived in for 3.5 years. So that was the fraud and misrepresentation of the truth. She was actually being evicted when she moved into my house. And I didn't know this.
Well, there's a difference. Did she represent that she wasn't being evicted?
Well, she said that she was living at Mr. Diop's house, who's been there for since 2021 and says he's never rented to her. So that's fraud.
What do you people want me to do? You guys just want to argue with each other. And quite frankly, I don't have the time today to hear all this because this is just a mess. You guys can't get past your personal animosity toward each other to even look at this whole thing rational.
Judge, the phone number on her application was disconnected. I've not ever been able to call her and talk to her. For 2.5 months, it's been another lady talking to me on the phone and in person. I've never been able to talk to my tenant. We could have worked this out if she was actually talking.
Not the way you two are acting right now, because you're both acting like juveniles toward each other. You guys can't talk to each other.
I want to talk to her, not her mother. Sir, respectfully.
Yeah.
She asked for a past address. 9090 is a past address. I never told her that I rented from the lease.
Why do I care?
The application has 9090 on it.
You're just gonna keep showing it to me, so I gotta try.
I just want honesty.
She's only been talking to me.
You guys can't even resolve this, can you?
I don't even have her number, sir. I don't have a number. You don't talk to me, sir. You don't talk to me. I've never.
You know what? Both of you go sit down. These other people, I'm not gonna have them waiting through your mess. Go sit down. I'm gonna pass this case. No, I'm not even gonna pass it because I don't want you back up here right now. I'm gonna set this thing for a final settlement conference before trial. I'm gonna set it for this Tuesday. Oh joy! And then I'm inviting her back. So go ahead. What time on? It's 9 o'clock this Tuesday, the 15th. Final settlement conference, July 15th, 2025, 9 a.m. That's in person. You need to be here. I will be waiting in courtroom A to hear your case and other cases with bells on.
The rent, since the mortgage is due, can
9 a.m. on the 15th. I am not making a decision today. You are to put the $3,300 in the court escrow. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
She just said something. Anybody comes up and gives me a problem, you're gonna be. I see. What do you say?
The landlord remained respectful throughout, calm, composed, and handling the situation better than most people would. The tenant, on the other hand, arrived extremely late and presented a scattered story that just doesn't hold up. It's hard to see why Judge Simpson labeled both sides as immature. There's a clear difference between frustration and outright irresponsibility. In this situation, the tenant appears to carry most of the blame. That said, some might argue the judge was a bit harsh, but that's open to interpretation. You could also make the case that the landlord deserved a quicker ruling. In many courtrooms, arriving that late can seriously damage, or even end, your case entirely. What many people don't realize is that judges often have the authority to dismiss a case simply for failing to appear on time. Given how inconsistent the tenant's story was, it's difficult to believe the property was left in good condition. So what do you think? Should the judge have ruled immediately, or was showing restraint the right move? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Take care, everyone.